How's it going, buddy? Welcome back to Elvis Junction Reviews. Today we're looking at another Walthers Mainline product. We are looking at a Walthers Mainline 53-foot Railgon Gondola, Railgon 310146. Here it is, and it's a lovely Walthers Mainline packaging. We're not going to waste any time, and we're going to pull this out of its box. As you can see, there's nothing in there because Walthers Mainline, it's pretty basic. I really wish they did include a parts diagram in case something broke off. That would be nice if they would do that. Walthers, if you're listening, please start doing that. It'd be very helpful. Here it is inside of its protective case here. Lovely plastic sheet to keep the car from getting damaged from the plastic. And out it comes just like that. All right, let's get into some history. Not about gondolas, but a quick history about Railgon. And now for a brief history about the Railgon Company. The Railgon Company was established in 1979 and made different sized gondolas from 50 foot and 53 foot to 60 to the massive 80-something foot gondolas. They made them available to railroads in what was known as a cooperative pool. Railroads basically would lease these cars until they didn't need them, and then once the lease was up, they could be leased again to the same railroad or leased to another railroad. Now, Railgon still exists, but it's not as big as it used to be. In fact, they have just over 1,000 gondolas in pool, compared to Railbox, which has over 13,000 boxcars roaming the rails of North America. All right, so now with a little bit of history out of the way, let's start looking at some detail, starting with what I classify as the front. All right, so we're currently looking at what I classify as the front of the freight car here. One of you very lovely people in a comment mentioned that according to freight car terminology, they consider this the B end because it has the brake wheel and all that brake stuff, as opposed to the other side, which does not. I'm still going to call it the front because that's what I'm used to saying. But anyway, starting with our detail, we're going to start from the top, work our way down to the bottom. As you can see, we have some molded on grab irons that kind of stick out from the ribbing of the car here. We have grab irons that work their way from the top of the car down to the bottom of the car here, but we only have two on this side right here. We have our brake wheel, and we have our brake chain, and here's a little walkway to traverse the car. And this is our big Walthers coupler. And I have noticed about Walthers couplers, like for example, when I was first starting out in the modeling, I had the Scale Trains units, and Scale Trains has their own version of couplers, and they work great between the engines, but when it comes up to hooking up to, say, an Athearn coupler, they don't always like to hold on to they don't always like to grip. But when I discovered these Walthers couplers, they like to hold on. It is tough to pull one of those off. I like these couplers because of how, sure, they don't look the most prototypical or accurate, but these keep their grip and they don't let go. So I really like that. And we have one more thing. We have our number here, GONX, if you really want to say it that, 310146. Not a lot going on the other side. It's just the same side, just minus the brake wheel and the brake chain and that little walkway, and you can see a little bit of riveting detail right here. All right, so let's look at the side now. All right, so we're currently looking at the side of the car here. Starting over here at the left here, we have some more molded on grab irons, only two of them, unfortunately. We have some legible writing here, 2-inch HF comp shoes. Wheels are 36-inch in diameter. I believe that's what that DIA means. Here are our trucks here. You can see the springs for the trucks. We have our ribs for the car as they go along the side here. We have our capacity and load limits right here. We have and here is our load weight, as well as when this car was built new in May of 1981. Here is our markings right here, GONX 310146, and this beautiful black and yellow paint scheme. Here we have the Railgon logo, the original Railgon logo. And as we move on here, it says Nationwide Gondola Pool. We have some more legible writing here, TSG10, and as well as IL52-6, and I believe that's cubic feet. And this is 2,494 cubic feet inside the actual gondola part of the car here. Here's our second truck. There are some more molded on grab irons here. And we have a little bit of gapping right here. Don't worry, that is actually normal for this car, so don't be too concerned about that if you do actually buy this car. All right, so now we're actually gonna look at the bottom now. So let's do that. And we're gonna watch the car completely fall off my desk. But don't worry, because this is Walthers Mainline, it's built tough. I guess I'm gonna have to hold it. All right, well, that was not supposed to happen. But anyway, here's the bottom of the car here. You can see the chassis of the car here, as well as some more ribbing here. And this is the weight. That's the weight right there. As you can hear, it's not metal. Or that is metal, this is not. Those are metal wheels, and they're very nice here. Here is our air tank reservoir. This is for the air brakes. And that's the cool thing. I always thought that was pretty cool about it if you look at these cars. This is technically supposed to be a pin to unlock couplers so that you can do more realistic switching without having to stick a wooden dowel in here to uncouple. But I always liked the way that they designed it was to make it look like an air hose coming out of the coupler, so I thought that was really cool. Inside here, this is the inside of the gondola here. Not a lot going on in here. You can see where they welded it together all along the sides. But it's just a very good looking car overall. And by the way, that drop, I know I said this, but don't worry, that drop did not kill the car. All right, so now let's get into my final thoughts. So I have to give this car a solid A because, well, it despite that lacking of detail, it still looks very nice. And it's got a good weight to it, which is the nice thing about Walthers Mainline. They managed to weight this very well. I'm very surprised. And as you saw and you heard, it survived a 2-foot drop going at a speed of 9.81 meters per second squared. So that's gravity, by the way, on Earth. But anyway, it still looks very nice, and I love the colors that Railgon went with back when they started back in '79. But anyway, and also this thing is incredibly cheap. By the way, I got this thing for under $25, and Walthers is always making more gondolas. So I highly recommend if you're going to be doing anything from '79 to now, you still see a few of these in these colors. So I highly recommend you get a few. But anyway, if you enjoyed, please hit that like button and also subscribe if you have not. I upload, and hit the notification bell. I upload on Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please tune in on those days to see what I upload and what I review next. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.